The mouse won't let me off the hook. He just won't. Look, I know I made a wild load of jokes about the big cheese in the last few two reviews, but that doesn't mean I hate Disney. Quite the opposite, in fact. I love Disney. I love all the characters, I love all the movies, and I love all the Christmas specials from past and present. Sure, I may not agree with all their corporate decisions, and believe me, I have plenty to say, but on the whole, their adventures have filled me with joy for my entire life, whether it be films, cartoons, or video games. And to round up this trilogy of Disney, we're going to take a look at my favourite childhood Disney game, World of Illusion. I mean, I kind of have to. My multi-cart got transformed into World of Illusion last time. Please come back to me, multi-cart. But, you know, I think on this occasion, I kind of want to mix up the formula because for something that I have always considered my favourite childhood Disney game, I feel like that the original AV-CRT quality is probably not going to do it any favours. So I think it'd be more appropriate to play this game on this. This is the SEGA Mega Drive Mini. It's another addition to a long line of retro consoles recently reborn in stunning HD, alongside the NES Classic, the Commodore 64 Mini, and a PlayStation Classic. We don't talk about the PlayStation Classic though. Just look at this thing. The production quality is fantastic. It even has an open cartridge door. It doesn't do anything, but it's still cool. And the controllers, although lighter than the originals, still feel authentic. And let's not forget that super card of games included in this Super Console, including Sonic, Mega Man Wily Wars, and among them is today's review subject. Damn, the connector's just too new for these old TVs. Wait a second. It may not be original hardware, but at least it's made in-house by M2 with full license by SEGA. So, enough stalling. Let's wrap our brains around the World of Illusion starring Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck. In this game, Mickey and Donald are getting ready for a magic show when Donald gets knocked into a mysterious looking box. The curtain box kinda looks like one of those spooky gargoyle heads. An eager Donald steps inside the box only to be transported into this world of illusion with Mickey following behind him. Now the two need to defeat the ruler of this world, an evil magician who promises your escape if you defeat him in a test of magic. So we're seeing a return to the simple story formula like in Castle of Illusion, but for this type of side-scrolling adventure, I think it's appropriate. Like I said before, you don't need any unnecessary explanation to tell you what's going on, you just need a basic explanation, and for a game aimed at a younger audience, I think this one does justice. Look, do I even have to say anything here? Call me Polly the Parrot because everything I said about the music is peak Disney. Jumpy, mystical, and energetic in the right places. The music engineers deserve a pat on the back. The sound effects aren't as poppy though, but again, they just feel right for the adventure ahead. I did notice the boss attack sound was lifted from Castle of Illusion though, so I thought that was a nice throwback. But where I think this game takes the audio all the way up to 11 is that they included voice acting. Now, because of compression in the audio chip of the Mega Drive, it leaves some audio not being as high quality as the Super Nintendo, but I always thought the Mega Drive had more charm though because of how they managed to work with the limitations. But in this game, they managed to get Mickey and Donald's voice actors Wayne Allwine and Tony Anselmo to do their voices, adding a real layer of pizzazz to the sound of the game. Sure, it's bit crunch, but it's still tight as... What was that? Donald, you watch your language! This is a Christian channel, just think of the children! You know how much I loved the colourful aesthetic of Castle of Illusion, but gave a very polite nod to the colour swatching of Quackshot? Well, in this game, those two mega powers combine to bring you a game with such depth, range, and colour that it makes Castle of Illusion look like a children's book. And that's really harsh for me to say because I love Castle of Illusion as well. But seriously, just look at this wonderful landscape. Candyland from Castle of Illusion has been given an upgrade from Tesco to Waitrose. So much more vibrant, and the forest is just as mystical as it was in Castle, but with some extra dazzle. It's just sublime. So, what of the controls? Well, if you want me being honest, this is the easiest game of the whole bunch. There's a lot more wiggle room for error here and there, and it doesn't feel like you're being thrown into any unnecessary action or forced to make any sudden movements, because admittedly, this game's pace is slow. It's not snail's pace slow, I'd say it's more grandma going down highway and holding up traffic slow, where at least you're still moving along. If you do want to go faster, you can hold down A to run with the character you choose, but be careful because the jumps in this game still have to be precise, and running while jumping will make you go further. Actually, I think the momentum of this game is really well implemented, especially in the last level, where if you jump on the platform whilst it's moving, it yeets you far away, so you have to be careful of your movements. An effective way to stop you from rushing the game, I have to admit. Enemies are easy to take down as well, as you can use your magic cape, towel? Hold on, let me look it up. Yeah, capes. Press B and you can take out enemies that are close range, or stop enemies in their tracks while they're further away from the character you're playing as. Each time you defeat a boss, you learn a new magic trick, which you activate each time by shouting Alakazam! To make whatever is supposed to happen. Though I wish they could have chose more words or maybe invented phrases for each magic trick, though I suppose the additional voice acting would have been too much for the file size of the cartridges. I mean, if it takes like a big chunk of the cartridge to have the SEGA splash screen in Sonic 1, then yeah, there's probably not much hope for the rest of World of Illusion. So what items do you get in this game? Well, that's pretty straightforward. You get cards to add to your score, candy to add a bar to your health, cake to max out your health, hats to give you an extra life, silver cards to make you invincible for a short period of time, and fireworks to take out all the enemies on the screen at the same time. Straightforward and fitting to the theme. You also get these question mark bags that have random items inside of them as well. Going back to the levels, I think they're really well designed. There's plenty of room to get around, but plenty of room for error as well, which keeps you on your toes, which I appreciate in a game like this. Each level has a different gimmick or feature. A fair challenge. Actually, I just want to go on record by saying that the way the game handles the levels is really clever. Depending on whether you choose Mickey or Donald, or both if you want a loner boner like me, they access unique paths or sections of the levels which mixes up the gameplay. For example, in the underwater level, Mickey can crawl under the gap by pressing down and C to access an underground level section, but where Donald can't fit because of his big caboose, he has to go back but gets lifted over the depths and onto an island hopping level. Also, in the sky level, where Mickey has to fight through a treacherous thunderstorm and crumbling hill section, Donald goes raft surfing through some waterfalls. It's so cool. This is the sort of level splitting and variety that you can expect in a game like Sonic & Knuckles, but this game was made 2 years before that one. I guess in this case the mouse was just faster. Sorry Sonic, I still love you. There are even unique levels made if you play multiplayer, including sections where you and your partner have to work together to solve the puzzles and get through the levels. Too bad I'm a lone wolf. Translation for howlingly lonely. Bosses range in difficulty really, but the order in their range is kind of off whack, in the sense that some bosses are just cheap and require quick snappy movements, and some you can keep waving your cape at them until you take them down. This sort of leads to an issue where some of the bosses are really easier than they have any right to be honest. It's not really an issue where the target audience of this game is relatively young, but when you take on the final boss, the evil magician, who is literally Pete in a robe, you can literally just stand in one area, stay out of the clouds, avoid the ghosts, and wave your cape at Pete's head 8 times to just sort of take him down. Which means the final boss is just a disappointing anti-climax, which kind of puts a damper on the whole experience if you ask me. It's not enough to take away from the whole experience of the game. Like I said before, I've always focused more on the journey rather than the end result because you pick up so much along the way. But when the final boss is just as pathetic as Pete the Pitiful is, then you feel like you kind of went through all that for nothing but a dead bunny not even hopping out of the hat. If we're going to make puns or jokes about magic here. That's how deflating it can feel to beat the final boss. You just think, oh, that's it? Well, this was an expenditure that wasn't worth the money. I'm just thankful the rest of the game has more guts to it to still present enough of a challenge. Though, strangely enough, I seem to have had varying stages of difficulty with both Mickey and Donald, and I don't know if that's because I played Mickey's game first before Donald's, but where I was able to take out Pete easier with Donald, Mickey's levels are much easier to flow through, though again, I suppose that adds to the variety of the game. Alright, we've defeated Pete, and as promised, we've been transported back into the real world, and now Mickey and Donald can put on their magic act. Actually, as a little bit to add to the end, depending on which character you play as, you get a different ending each time. That is top-notch, high-quality detail right there. Oh, Pete, you little trickster, you cheeky little Need I say more? Disney know how to deliver in the video game front, and even today, they know how to make the experience all the more excellent. I adored playing this game as a child, and had so much fun returning to it today to relive the days where Mickey and Donald were my whole world as a child. Well, besides Sonic the Hedgehog. I still have fondness in my heart for the Disney characters that will never go away, and I urge anyone who has a Mega Drive to give this game a go. Sure, it may not be the greatest challenge in the world, but as a change of pace, this should do everything to present you with a splendid experience from start to finish. So overall, here are the final scores. Story, 7 out of 10. Gameplay, 8.5 out of 10. Controls, 8.5 out of 10. Audio, 8.5 out of 10. And graphics, 10 out of 10. Woo! So let me just do some calculating here. To round up the score, World of Illusion, starring Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck, gets a very well deserved 8.5 out of 10. Well, now that I've rounded up the trilogy, that must mean that the Big Mouse is pleased with all my higher praises, right? Right? Phew. What? You all thought it was Mickey that was bullying me all this time? No, seriously. This random mouse he just barged into my home not so long ago. I have no idea where he came from. He just started demanding that I just give him all my food, all my cheese, and now he just will not leave. Please, if you're watching this, please, call the police. I'm too young. I'm not ready to die. Please, anyone who's out there, please let the authorities know, please. Phew, am I glad that was his last bullet and it missed.